Silverstone could reshape the 2026 title fight. Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams all bring crucial upgrades. Who gains the edge? Silverstone presents a unique challenge for Formula One power units, a phenomenon known as energy clipping. This occurs when a car's battery deploys its full electrical energy allocation before reaching the end of a long straight, causing the power unit to lose assistance right when top speed matters most. Under the 2026 power unit regulations, electrical deployment plays a far larger role in overall performance than in previous seasons, making the management of battery energy across a lap a critical factor in lap time. Silverstone, along with Spa-Francorchamps, features some of the longest full-throttle sections on the calendar, making this effect more pronounced than at most other circuits. Teams running Mercedes power units are expected to hold an advantage in this area heading into qualifying, based on how their energy deployment systems have historically managed longer straights compared to rival manufacturers. This dynamic is expected to shape the qualifying order at the 2026 British Grand Prix, with Mercedes-powered cars potentially gaining time in the closing sector of the lap, where rival power units may already have exhausted their electrical reserves. Aston Martin arrives at the 2026 British Grand Prix with one of the more interesting storylines of the weekend, even though the team is not introducing new parts at this specific race. Lance Stroll commented on gains found through simulator work ahead of the event, a notable shift in tone given that Stroll has often been critical of the car's simulator correlation in the past. Fernando Alonso also offered positive remarks regarding the direction of the car's development, adding a second voice of optimism from within the team ahead of the race weekend. Technical director Adrian Newey has been focused heavily on weight reduction, since Aston Martin is currently among the heaviest cars on the grid, a category it shares with Williams. Excess weight has a direct and measurable impact on lap time, affecting braking distances, tire degradation, and cornering speeds, which is why Newey has prioritized stripping mass from the chassis rather than pursuing purely aerodynamic gains in the short term. Estimates suggest the team's next aerodynamic upgrade package could deliver a gain of roughly 2 to 3/10 of a second per lap. Rather than debut this package at Silverstone, Aston Martin is holding it back for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a circuit with significantly lower engine power demands where aerodynamic improvements are expected to translate into a larger and more visible performance gain. Hungary's tight, twisting layout rewards downforce over straight-line speed, meaning any aerodynamic gain introduced, there's likely to show up more clearly in lap time than the same upgrade would at a power-sensitive track like Silverstone. Cadillac brings a distinct storyline to this race, weekend tied to the Independence Day timing of the British Grand Prix. The team has introduced a special one-off livery featuring stars along with red, white, and blue design elements on the front wing, marking the 4th of July. This livery has been described as one of the standout special designs introduced across the grid this season, standing out among the various one-off paint schemes teams have used throughout 2026. Beyond the aesthetic change, Cadillac has revised its brake ducts to address overheating issues that surfaced during the Austrian Grand Prix, where the team's braking components ran hotter than expected under sustained racing conditions. With the British Grand Prix run in sprint format this year, Cadillac is considered a genuine contender to reach Q2, which would represent a notable step for the team this early in its debut season. Reaching Q2 in a sprint weekend would mark a significant milestone for Cadillac, given the compressed practice time available before qualifying sessions begin under the sprint format structure. Haas has revised its rear wing at Silverstone, drawing inspiration from the rear corner concept used by Mercedes. The update includes vertical upwash elements designed to manage airflow as it exits the rear of the car, a detail intended to improve the efficiency of the diffuser working beneath it. This aerodynamic change arrives alongside the team's continued use of the new Ferrari power unit, introduced earlier in the season, and the combination of the two update Williams has brought what amounts to the most substantial upgrade package of the weekend to Silverstone. The team has been dealing with a weight problem throughout the 2026 season, tracing back to a nose section that failed to meet crash test standards early in development, forcing reinforcement that added unwanted mass to the car. This weight penalty has followed the car through much of the season, forcing engineers to compensate elsewhere in the design rather than addressing the root cause directly. Williams has revised the front wing flaps and end plates to improve outwash, the aerodynamic effect that redirects turbulent air away from the front tires and toward the underfloor, improving the efficiency of the floor further back on the car. Additional skate elements, resembling small Venturi-style components, have been added beneath the front wing to further manage airflow entering the underbody. The floor has also been updated, featuring stepped indentations near the rear corner along with a revised cutout designed to improve sealing against the ground, a change aimed at maintaining consistent downforce levels as ride height varies through a lap. A subtle vertical element has been added near the halo region, representing an incremental rather than dramatic change to the car's overall aerodynamic profile. Looking ahead, Williams is expected to introduce a B-spec chassis, potentially at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku or the Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid, which the team hopes will finally allow the car to reach the minimum weight limits set by the sport's technical regulations. McLaren continues its pattern of incremental refinement with another revision to the front wing at Silverstone, building on changes introduced across recent races throughout the 2026 season. The team has also introduced an upgraded floor, though detailed imagery of the component has not been widely circulated ahead of the weekend. The most notable addition is a rear wing originally developed for the Austrian Grand Prix, but held back until this event. The new wing features a bulkier DRS actuator housing, along with a design concept resembling the inverted wing approach associated with Red Bull, a layout intended to optimize the balance between straight-line efficiency and cornering downforce. It is mounted using a double strut configuration rather than a single mount point, a structural change that alters how loads are distributed across the wing assembly. Compared to McLaren's previous rear wing design, the new component shows a noticeably different bulge in the center section, reflecting the internal packaging changes required for the actuator and mounting hardware. S is expected to provide a measurable performance boost for the American-owned team as it looks to close the gap to the midfield. Ferrari has brought a smaller, but technically significant update to Silverstone following a larger package introduced at the Austrian Grand Prix. The team has revised the mechanism behind its so-called rotisserie wing, achieving more compact packaging within the rear wing assembly while maintaining the wing's rotational adjustment function. Ferrari has also updated its rear brake ducts, with visible changes to the cooling architecture compared to the previous specification used earlier in the season. Because Silverstone does not place heavy demands on the braking system, unlike circuits with hard braking zones, some analysts have theorized that the revised ducts are focused more on heat management and aerodynamic performance than on braking capability itself, since airflow around the rear brakes influences overall rear-end aerodynamics and cooling of the surrounding components. The team has also introduced revised winglets mounted on the brake duct housings, adding another element to the airflow management at the rear of the car. The smaller scale of this update compared to the Austrian package reflects the ongoing need for teams to manage development spending under the sport's cost cap regulations, which limit how much can be spent on new components across the season. Ferrari's engine cover also appears more closed than in previous races, leaving some uncertainty about the exact specification the team will run heading into the weekend.